Stoneju's mother thought to herself, "There are so many people here. I can't find my son. And does Swamp Imp really have such thick hair?" Suddenly Formation spotted a bright red hair. His mother quickly asked the old lady to take a closer look. And when Stoneju, he turned back with a frightened face. "Sorry. I really couldn't hold back." Ha ha ha. Even his mother was scared. Oh my god. How did the child get sunburned like this? And then everyone saw water showering with blue hair. She was surrounded by swamp imps. Everyone thought she was under siege. Upon closer inspection, those swamp imps actually seemed to be protecting her. The more they looked, the more confused they became. At this time, everyone noticed something running fast on the left. Old Lady Water quickly manipulated the formation to look over. "It's a mechanized carriage?" Suddenly the carriage stopped. "Oh!" A child got off the carriage. Jiyoshi looked straight at them, and then glanced over. Then she took out sunglasses and put them on. She made a clicking sound with her mouth. She just raised her middle finger directly. The parents looked confused. What the heck is going on here? Talk about Jiyoshi being so international all of a sudden. It's all because the instructor doesn't like her being so timid and hesitant. In addition to the Love Jiyoshi event, he also tried to comfort her in other ways. The situation is like this. Only saw instructor directly giving Jiyoshi a big brain shell. Being bullied, he wants to resist. Where is the strength you used to confront me back then? You will just bully at home. Then Jiyoshi returned a punch. I am definitely not a bully at home. Instructor angrily scolded Jiyoshi. You have to become domineering in the future. Whoever disrespects you, you must curse back at them. Follow me and raise your middle finger. Just like that. Under my guidance, she gradually became more unrestrained and bold. Yes, I always feel like she has gone a little too far in her boldness. Love Farm rushed over in concern and witnessed a bold scene of Jiyoshi. He was worried and advised Jiyoshi to be more careful, since they still didn't know what it was. At this time, someone behind them called out to the two of them. Water Shaoling also rushed over. She is also worried about Jiyoshi. She told the two that this is a monitoring formation similar to clairvoyance. Don't panic. And Water Shaoling figured out it was probably her grandmother's doing through the formation symbol. However, monitoring the exam room is against the rules. So what should we do next? Then she asked where the Love Farm instructor was. Upon learning that he was on the other side of the riverbank, the three of them decided to go find him together. Outside the examination room, a group of parents watched this scene. Everyone felt that their relationship seemed quite good. Hao Gung's mother saw them safe. She then spoke up and asked Water Family's elderly lady to find her daughter. She is worried that Hao Gung has been imprisoned by Chu Skylight. Hao Gung has always been a conservative and upright child. On the other hand, Spear. Hao Gung happily said while wearing a swimsuit. I got it. The lady outside, Lady Hao, died on the spot. This child is dressed so cool. What an indecent look. It scared the people around. Everyone quickly pinch her philtrum. Rescue her. The instructor wears a hat, his face blushing. He stares attentively ahead. They are grilling fish at Hao Gung's place. He not only covered his head after looking for a while. Feeling dizzy. Feeling giddy. Brother System encouraged him to cheer up quickly. Look more. It's so nice to see. Our instructor is so versatile. He thought he should have brought little Jiyoshi and the princess along earlier. He is still thinking about his sense of justice. Suddenly someone shouted, Quick, look in the sky! The instructor looked up and was also shocked for a moment. He couldn't help but wonder what that thing was. But just for a moment. The eye-like thing closed. At this time, Water Shaoling and Jiyoshi ran over. Mr. Chu, this thing may be a warning. We should get out quickly. Then he gathered everyone. A meeting was urgently called. Miss Water first spoke, stating that monitoring the exam room during the test was against the rules, and it was a challenge to the laws set by the elders. The energy consumption was also enormous. Suddenly, grandmother appeared outside the exam room with clairvoyance. Something must have happened outside. We have been here for half a year, and it's time to leave. Stonejwu reluctantly expressed. But I still want to farm. The princess also said she wants to cook another dish. Love Farm also looked reluctant to leave. The instructor understands in his heart. Perhaps it's what those two complainants said. The situation outside doesn't look good. Jiyoshi on the side also knows. Her own identity must have been reported as well. She feels depressed. The instructor pulled her hair, scratching her face. This moment ignited Jiyoshi's anger, seeing Jiyoshi not so depressed. He then said to them, "No need to argue. Pack up. Leave Mythic Realm tomorrow morning." Love Farm stood up excitedly. Shouting for the instructor, he still wanted to say some words to persuade them to stay. But he was interrupted by the instructor. If it is those two informants who caused all this, then Blackmire's stronghold will inevitably be implicated. The more we delay, the more variables there will be. We must go out and solve it as soon as possible. Every banquet must come to an end. Sooner or later, we have to leave. I have taught you everything I could. The rest is up to you. Love Farm said with a sense of grievance. I understand. Early the next morning, on a cliff at Misty Swamp Ridge, all the swamp imps gathered here, each bidding farewell to their human friends. Stonejwu was packed with things. Old stone. The sweet potatoes outside don't taste as good as the ones we grow ourselves. Please pick more. Water Shaoling is also surrounded by a group of doctor's disciples over there. I really want to lie on Miss Water's chest like them. The princess also reminded everyone to ensure that everyone's diet is well taken care of. In fact, the instructor is quite worried too. He doesn't know if he will have the chance to farm again after going out. Love Farm walked up to the instructor without saying a word, in order not to let Love Farm feel too sad. The instructor also smiled and said to him, "Ready to go. Don't cry. It's not like it's goodbye forever." Love Farm's tears couldn't help but roll down. Among them, the most sorrowful one is Hao Gung. She is inherently sensitive and melancholic. At this moment, she cries 2 waterfalls. Finally, the instructor clasped his fists and said to the swamp imps, who were already in a sorry state, "Everyone, the green hills remain unchanged, and the water keeps flowing forever. In the bright future, we'll meet again." Having said that, the group headed towards the cliff. Jumped. Parting is inevitable after being together. And parting is also for a better reunion. Farewell to Blackmire Stronghold, which has accompanied us for half a year. When the instructor leaped, Lady Hao on the other side has already been rescued. Her temper is still very strong. Shameless scoundrel Chu Skylight, forcing my daughter to dress like this to catch fish. Lu Lian has a different opinion. He is persuading. Hao Gung seems quite happy. The situation inside shouldn't be that bad. The only response it elicited from Lady Hao was, "Nonsense!" Snow Moran from the Snow family on the side is very headache-inducing. This guy's identity is so sensitive. Doesn't he know to keep a low profile? Fortunately, Grandpa doesn't know his name or appearance. At this time, someone suddenly came to report that all the examinees of the Blackmire Swamp Imp have come out. Just when several major families rushed over. The people around the examination room are also discussing it, especially our instructor. The evaluation is really extraordinary. It's like reaching heaven or falling into hell. With a familiar entrance scene, our instructor enters, like a general planting seeds. The Honorable Medic appears in the scene. He also brought some local products from Blackmire Stronghold. The onlookers all exclaimed in surprise. He is not wearing pants. But why is it so perky? When the instructor lifted his pants, then someone shouted Stonejwu, and all the parents arrived. Stone Juwu was especially happy to see his mother. But his mother? Who is this guy? Stone Juwu also took out the watermelon he grew himself. He wanted his mother to taste it. His mother quickly waved her hand and said, "Stop for now. Have I not taught you before? Don't talk too much in front of others. Maintain your image." De Tsongming was stunned. He forgot about tending the fields. His mother asked about his clothes again. Where did his earrings and storage device go? Stone Juwu is an honest child. Although very flustered, he admitted everything. He lost all his money in the game to Brother Chu. By the way, he immediately introduced his lifelong best friend to his mother, Chu Skylight. However, the situation with the instructor is somewhat tricky. The instructor just came out of Mythic Realm. He was immediately caught by the officials. The princess is not happy about this. "How dare you? Let me go, master." Stone Juwu also came over. "What are you doing? Why did you tie up my brother?" The soldiers reported the situation truthfully. Soul Spirit's mistake in the exam this time. Chu Skylight is highly suspected. Moreover, he even forced you to roast sweet potatoes. However, this action only brought the princess's angry scolding. "What do you mean by forcing me to roast sweet potatoes? Roasting sweet potatoes is my lifelong career. In the past 6 months, I supply sweet potatoes to the whole village. I roast until my hands are sore every day. This has trained me to have precise control over the heat. My skills are also rapidly improving. I have already reached the level of 2 stars Grand Martial Master." Stone Juwu agreed. "Not bad. I am also the same. I plow 50 acres of land every day. My physical body has been refined to the extreme. Now, I have reached the level of 1-star Grand Martial Master." This directly shocks the parents' 3 outlooks. It's not over yet. Water Shaoling also mentioned that. "I am too. I treat Swamp Imp for various difficult diseases every day. Soul power is depleted repeatedly every day. Unconsciously, I have leveled up to 3 stars. Hao Gong has realized a new martial art in the daily fishing practice. Everything is within the plan of the instructor. He had anticipated this situation long ago. How could he come out unprepared? He led everyone in labor every day for the past 6 months, using spiritual grass and spiritual herb as ingredients for meals. We are working towards common prosperity. Everyone is making progress. All rumors will be debunked on their own. Even ordinary students are speaking out. Why are you arresting Teacher Chu? Just based on the lies of these 2 ungrateful people who burned bridges after crossing them? The accusers hastily tried to defend themselves. We didn't lie. Is his collusion with Seductive Fox also fake? That Seductive Fox hasn't shown up at all. They must be too afraid to come out. This remark indeed has provoked disgust from those around, because Seductive Fox is synonymous with heinous crimes in people's minds. Just as the princess gritted her teeth in anger and frustration, someone suddenly called out to her, "Little Helianthus." "Fantastic. You're safe." Seeing the newcomer, the princess was also overjoyed and called out, "Big brother." Only hearing the announcement from the eunuch, the first prince strode over with a spirited demeanor. The instructor just came out from the demon stronghold. He was immediately captured by the government officials. The government officials were then criticized by the princess. "Let go of her, Sherfu." Just then, the first prince arrived. The excited princess hugged the first prince, showing that the first prince is also extremely kind to the princess on regular days. The doting first prince patted the princess's head and asked, "I heard you were inside for half a year. Is everything okay?" The princess said, "I'm doing very well, thanks to my Sherfu Chu Skylight. He saved me from a pervert." He is a rare talent. Who would have thought he would spend so much effort on this? The instructor has been tied up again. He was directly arranged to stage a comeback. The angry princess exclaimed in a tender voice, "Why have you tied him up again? He is my lifesaver." Then she leaned in and said to the first prince, "Brother, my teacher is definitely a talented person. Maybe he can help you deal with lawn thingy. Please help him quickly." The first prince gently scolded, "What lawn thingy? He is your second brother." Then he squinted his eyes and pondered for a moment. Looking at the first prince's eyes, I knew this guy was definitely extraordinary. As everyone knows, in all manhwas, those who squint their eyes are always monsters. Then the first prince spoke up, "Everyone, our country does not have a law that mandates the capture of seductive fox. I have heard about the situation in the exam hall. That seductive fox did no harm. Why hold on to this issue?" As soon as he said this, people around began to whisper, "The first prince is right. There are even seductive fox songstresses being sold in the market. Why is nobody doing anything about that?" The first prince continued, "Moreover, he saved the princess, pacified Blackmire's stronghold, and led everyone in cultivation. His conduct and abilities are outstanding. With your talent, you are qualified to enter the Sacred Moon Academy for further studies." As soon as he finished speaking, a voice spoke out, "The Sacred Moon Academy does not accept students like you." Snow Morin, who has not been seen for a long time, has arrived with the Grand Elder of the Sacred Moon Academy. The voice we heard earlier was from this old Snow. The two first paid their respects to the first prince. Then they mentioned that the first prince is kind-hearted. Since you believe they are innocent, the old minister has no objections. But the seductive fox has long been recognized as a troublemaker. As the Grand Elder of the Sacred Moon Academy, you have the responsibility to oversee the source of students in the academy. Chu Skylight will not tolerate seductive fox Sacred Moon. The instructor looks panicked when he sees Snow Morin. He is afraid of his identity being exposed. Old Snow also noticed the strange looks between the two. So Old Snow asked, "Do you know each other?" Instructor was sweating profusely. Morin quickly denied, saying, "No, I don't know them." He understood in his heart. Grandfather was a supporter of the second prince. If first prince wanted to win over grandfather, he would definitely not go along with first prince's intentions. I heard that the Sacred Moon Academy is not accepting instructors. The princess gritted her teeth in anger. So unreasonable. Master is so outstanding. Do you think Sacred Moon is special because Shifu values you? Then I won't go to Sacred Moon either. Wherever Shifu goes, I will follow. First prince was just about to persuade the princess. Stone Zhuwu stood up again. Determinedly said, "Count me in. A hero never abandons a true friend." Ranked first in the college entrance examination, but not accepted by the school? The instructor encountered this situation. However, Sacred Moon unexpectedly does not accept the instructor. The princess, as the disciple of the instructor, naturally also expressed her firm refusal to go to Sacred Moon. And Stone Zhuwu, as the second-generation old farmer, also stated his position. Wherever Brother Chu goes, he will go. But he was soon scolded by his old mother. It's not over yet. Many ordinary students also said that they must follow Teacher Chu. Within half a year, he helped them advance by 2 levels. This is something that the school cannot achieve. Amidst the noise, Old Snow shook his head secretly, feeling that they were quite naive. At this moment, the chief examiner from the Infinite Academy on the side spoke up. Since Sacred Moon has refused, do you want to come to the Infinite Academy, Chu Skylight? Although Infinite may not be as good as Sacred Moon, with your outstanding talent, as long as you come, the terms can be negotiated. Seductive Fox can also come along. Infinite treats everyone equally. Just said. The one who snatched people has arrived. A big man said. Lu Ming. Infinite, don't bother recruiting people if that's the level. Why not come to Azure Mountain instead? Except for Sacred Moon Jiaolan. We are the strongest at Azure Mountain. Crystal Stone Dan Pill. Ask for anything, get anything. I can't stop it now. There are those who use the strongest external martial arts to recruit. There are also those who use beautiful women to seduce. Their eyes lit up one by one, as excited as a dog seeing a bone. Not only did they receive the strongest disciple this year, but they also received the lightning sword and the third princess as a bonus. This has left Old Snow flustered. On the other side, the instructor is in a miserable state. Pulling their hair and yanking their braid, trying everything to no avail, they have started to resort to force. Note that this remaining tenderness only comes from the Azure Mountain Academy. Azure Mountain shouts with enthusiasm. Come to Azure Mountain, a home in the royal heart. Come to Azure Mountain, where spiritual pool plays its part. The princess on the side wanted to go and rescue, but couldn't even insert her hand. Suddenly, Lu Ming raised his hand. He directly used his ultimate move. Give the fields to Tion. Plant whatever you want. Wow! That's spot on, hitting him right in the feels. The instructor was taken aback when he heard it. He was so caught up that he's nearly being pulled bald. He dashed straight to Lu Ming's side. I'm going to infinite. He thought to himself. I have plenty of resources for immortal cultivation. Those few old lunatics gave me more than I can use. I will ally with the royal family. It's all the same wherever I go. Of course, the best place is where I can farm. So many people are competing. Old Snow, who was mocking them for being childish just now, is shaking with anger. He can't save face either. He turned around and said to Morin, the admissions officers of these academic institutions are really absurd. Sacred Moon disdains to associate with them. Look at that. Morin can tell he's just putting on a tough front. And behind them is the first prince. He had been smiling all along, as he looked at Old Snow thoughtfully. Then he turned to the instructor and said, the top scholars of the previous imperial examinations all received rewards from the royal family. You saved the princess and made a great contribution. You deserve an additional reward. How about I allow you to choose an item from the royal family's treasury? When the instructor heard this, he exclaimed, the royal family's treasury. Could there be the stone of unsealing there? Okay. The school directly gives fields to students for them to cultivate in order to attract enrollment. Just such a small operation. Let a second-rate school produce the top scorer in the exam. And then also give away a princess, a lighting sword, plus a bunch of outstanding candidates. Many peripheral candidates are discussing. I heard the last candidate came out. It is said that the seductive fox starved to death. So sad. The scene shifts to the candidate's medical room. Jiyoshi is eating voraciously. Whatever there is, she eats. Water Shaoling indulgently asks her to slow down. What is going on here? Do you remember when the instructor came out? He was holding one of Jiyoshi's hairs, but Jiyoshi was not seen. That's because when he leaped down at that time, Jiyoshi was hanging on a tree branch. She still had a belt in her hand. That's how it happened. Come back and continue. When Jiyoshi was eating, Lu Ming came to inform him that he would handle the enrollment procedures. 2 weeks later, Infinite University starts. Just arrive on time for registration. After thanking Princess Lu Ming, the instructor rushed out and said, Master, shall I take you to the treasure vault to pick treasures tomorrow? Brother Ah Xiong has many official duties, so he left first. Before leaving, he specifically instructed me to personally take you to pick treasures. He values you a lot. Just finished speaking, old Farmer Stone came again. Stone's mother, with a gloomy face, followed behind. I don't know if it's because he's unwilling to change his old clothes. Stone Zhuowu came specifically to invite instructor to stay at his house for a few days. When his mother heard this, she thought, this kid is taking matters into his own hands again. The princess was very happy to hear this. This way she could also visit Sherfu frequently. She asked Lady Ston to take care of Sherfu. When the princess said this, Stone's mother could only agree. So the group arrived at the Stone family estate. The Stone Zhuowu family has a big house and a big business. He immediately arranged 2 neighboring rooms for instructor and Jiyoshi to stay in. Instructor thanked Stone Zhuowu before. He directly flew and pounced onto the big bed. He really lived up to being from a wealthy family. Such a soft bed. Brother System then came out to say that the mission was completed very well. So it's time for the delivery process. Brother System says he won't let you down. I'm just guessing. What awesome stuff is this treasure going to be again? Ding, 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 ding. A brand new high-level item. Voice of Enchantment. Its function is that language can control the opponent's mind for 3 seconds. Instructor's face full of anticipation immediately fell. Isn't this just a nightclub flyer? Previously rewarded tractor. Now this broken system only gives out a nightclub flyer? This is also not the fault of the instructor for being unhappy. Brother System is unhappy. What a small card. This is made from the props pieces of freckled. Those abnormal props are all enchanting and enhancing types. What can I do? But its effect is very good. The cooldown time is only 1 day and shortens with level up. Instructor looked disdainful. It's better to bring another tractor. He immediately got a big scolding from the Brother System. Damn it! You just know how to farm. You should think about the future. You are now a celebrity. How many eyes are staring at you every day? Try not to use the cards from the old folks in public as much as possible. Be careful not to be found out about your background. It's safer to use my own. The instructor had to take over. He remembered there was a bluff to play. He then asked, "How much longer until the cooldown?" The Brother System replied, 3 years left. Each system comes with an identity card as a beginner's tool. Its power is actually quite strong. Once your level goes up, it will be very useful. The Voice of Enchantment is also very useful. You can give it a try. So, the next morning, Stonejwawu greeted the instructor with a "Good morning." However, he had no idea that he would soon be in trouble. The instructor was holding a small card in his hand and asked him to come closer. Then he used a prop on Songming and said, "You love to wear women's clothing." Stonejwawu was stunned for a moment. He turned around and said to his mother, "Mother, your clothes are so beautiful." His mother thought to herself, "This kid, why is he so sweet-talking today? When have I not been beautiful?" But Stonejwawu's next sentence directly scared her. He said, "I also want to wear it. Can I try it on?" Then he shouted that he wanted a little skirt. He ran to find a tailor. His mother hurriedly chased after him. Instructor looked at this effect. He thumbs up directly. Brother System couldn't stand it anymore. Let him behave himself. Instructor is holding a small card. I don't know what kind of sneaky move he's thinking of again. A servant ran up to him and called out, "The princess has arrived. She is waiting outside." The princess outside is nervously asking how Gung. "Is my hair messy?" When she heard that Teacher Chu had come out, she happily ran over. The princess, dressed meticulously, displayed her beauty without reservation. It seems like she is experiencing the stirrings of spring. And our clever one, still puzzled under the big bag on his head, wonders why he had such a strong impulse to dress as a woman just now. Instructor temporarily stayed at the Stone family mansion. After he flirted with Stonejwawu, the princess, who was meticulously dressed, came to find him. The princess's appearance directly touched the heart of the instructor. The key is still the flat chest. The princess happily said, "Sherfu, I will take you to the treasure trove. After choosing the treasures, shall we go to Royal City for some sightseeing?" How could the instructor refuse? He praised the princess as well. The princess was thrilled by the praise. Sherfu really has the same good taste as the Queen Mother. When the Queen Mother was still around, she loved to dress me up. She often praised me for looking cute in this way. Brother System expressed his deep sorrow with tears in his eyes. The little princess has fallen for you. It's not easy. Finally, it's not just a sisterly bond anymore. The two of them then rode a carriage to the Royal City Treasury. In front of a small pavilion, the carriage came to a stop. It seems like some kind of formation has been set up around the pavilion. After the two got off the carriage, they walked straight towards the pavilion. Above the Tai Chi diagram in the center, there was a semi-transparent light curtain. The princess placed her hand on it. Then she rotated the Tai Chi light pattern. With a clang sound, she seemed to have activated some mechanism. The Tai Chi diagram under their feet shook slightly, lowering slowly with the two of them, like an elevator. It turns out the treasure trove is hidden underground. This mechanism is truly mysterious and profound. The princess explained to the instructor with ease. We can only choose from the first level of the treasure trove. Here, we have cultivation methods. Over there, we have artifacts. The quality on this level is the highest, but they are only master level. However, there are also many good items available. Then she asked the Sherfu, "What do you want? I will help you find it." The instructor said he would take a look around first. So he used his martial soul golden eyes to search for the stone of unsealing. After all, he was not lacking in treasures. He began to search using his martial soul. However, he searched everywhere, but found no trace of the stone of unsealing. Could it be on the lower levels? At this moment, a blood mist suddenly rose around him. The range of the blood mist gradually expanded. And this dense blood mist was all caused by a figure. A figure shrouded in blood appeared in the Grand Royal Treasury. It is unknown what secret lies hidden. The figure walked slowly, stirring up the blood mist, murmuring with a hint of resentment. "My clan is innocent. The guilt lies with me alone." The figure seemed not to notice instructor as he walked past. But when she saw his face directly, Instructor panicked. "Isn't this Crimson Grandma?" Then, he hurriedly wanted to catch up. The princess probably couldn't see this strange scene. I wonder what's wrong with her Sherfu. Instructor is now full of questions. This seems to be the appearance of Crimson Grandma when she was young. But how could she appear here? Is it an illusion? Regardless, we must catch up and figure it out. The figure ahead keeps moving forward, muttering to themselves. "The guilt lies with me alone," Instructor shouted. "Crimson Grandma." But when the person turned around, in the instant when one person and one shadow faced each other, suddenly, a lot of images appeared in Instructor's mind. He saw the plain where the sun was setting. Sinister humanoids hiding in the darkness. Then came the seductive Fox clan, battered and bloodied, fleeing for their lives. But ultimately, they could not escape death. Every member of the clan was executed, their bodies hung as a warning. At the end of the scene, there was a faint bitter smile on the face of someone who looked like Crimson Grandma in her youth. Suddenly, a burst of self-luminous light flashed before my eyes. It seemed like I had returned to the real world. The blood mist was nowhere to be seen. The figure was standing in front of a huge, shining bookshelf. He turned around and looked at the instructor. Later, she placed her hand on that book. The only black 30,037 on top. Asked faintly, "Chu Skylight? Why do all envoys from the Divine Empire have fake systems? Is the system not valuable now?" On this day, Lu Lian's servant suddenly came to report. He said the special envoy has arrived. Lu Lian hurried to greet him, only to see that the visitor's face mask was marked with 3,005. The other one was marked with 26,000. These two individuals are envoys from the Divine Empire. They greeted Lu Lian and exchanged pleasantries. Lu Lian then led them to formation where the examination was disrupted. This black square is the formation of Shadowmire. It has been closed and deactivated for observation due to malfunction. Lu Lian also found that the formation seems to have been altered. At the mention, a strange light flickered in the eyes of the divine envoy. He said it might be due to lack of maintenance for too long. However, Lu Lian mentioned that they do maintenance every month. The divine envoy suddenly changed the topic. "Have you heard that the Swamp Imp in Shadowmire has all turned over a new leaf?" After receiving confirmation from Lu Lian, he stated that this mythic realm could no longer be used. He would return Shadowmire to the demonic continent since these mythic realms were originally separated from the demonic continent by the elders. They were able to influence the swamp imp's change. This aspiring candidate named Chu Skylight is quite interesting. I really want to meet with him. On the other side, in the treasure trove, after Chu Skylight saw the weeping Crimson Grandma, he fell into a coma. The princess kept calling out to him anxiously. Chu Skylight slowly opened his eyes and saw the princess, who also breathed a sigh of relief. From the princess, he learned that he had suddenly rushed out, grabbed the stone, and then fainted. He recalled what had just happened. When he went to chase after the illusion of Crimson Grandma, he found that it was all caused by this stone. It was like a stone condensed with resentment. He lost consciousness as soon as he touched it. But what exactly has Crimson Grandma experienced? Why was she crying like that? He has never told me anything about it. I was just thinking about it. He was called out of his thoughts by the princess. The princess asked, "Sherfu, are you going to choose this stone?" Chu Skylight certainly wanted the stone. Crimson Grandma's secret is hidden inside. He is determined to find out the truth. Stone Family Mansion Gate. Chu Skylight had just been sent back by the princess when someone stopped him. The two divine envoys are already waiting inside the manor. They want to meet him. Chu Skylight returned. Stone Shuwu was about to greet him, but was scolded by his mother. No laughing allowed. Close your eyes and mouth. Then she introduced with the lobster Stone Shuwu and Chu Skylight, saying, "These two are divine envoys from the Divine Empire. They have heard about your deeds in the exam hall and specially wanted to meet you." After speaking, she hurriedly pushed the lobster and left. At this time, Brother System came out. He warned that these two divine envoys are not right. I noticed that there are fake systems on them. At that moment, the two individuals spoke up. "You must be Chu Skylight. I heard that you are farming and living in Mythic Realm. Jialan really has a lot of talented individuals. But you actually went to a lower-ranking institution like Infinite. It seems that Jialan doesn't treat talent well." Instructor is still wondering what he meant by that. The person actually took out a system item directly. Continuing, he said, "Only excellent academies have good immortal cultivation resources to provide for students' growth." The instructor was completely bewildered by this action. "Just say what you need to say. What are you doing with your props?" Brother System quickly remind him. This person is above martial lord level. Don't act recklessly. Then the special envoy intentionally raised the props in front of the instructor, saying that the Divine Empire is powerful and asking if they should consider coming to the Divine Empire. The Brother System knew he was testing whether the instructor could see the props. It quickly covered the instructor's eyes. Using this test to evaluate a cadre is underestimating the instructor. The instructor said, "Special Envoy, you may not understand me. In my eyes, land is the most important resource. Farming to me is as joyful as sucking a spiritual vein." The special envoy was scared off this time. "What is this operation?" Instructor, keep outputting. The world is vast. Only Infinite lets me farm. I won't go anywhere. Do you understand? The joy of nurturing life. The ambassador is sweating. I understand. You are indeed a genius. Since your heart belongs to Infinite, I won't force you. But he has not given up his probing. He continued to hold up the props and said, "But if you need help in the future, you can come to me anytime." As he said this, he suddenly patted the props onto the instructor's shoulder. Men can also be meticulous, just like women. The envoy of the Divine Empire actually has props too. He even pushed the prop into the instructor's body. He could only pretend to be completely unaware and go along with it. 3,500 hearts ponder. It seems like this guy really has no issue. He left with just one sentence, saying goodbye, and then turned around and left. Cautious 3,500 took a last look before leaving. After they left, the instructor started acting cute. Ah Chang. He's such a pervert. Just stuffed the props indirectly. The brother system is quite happy. Great stuffing. What does it mean there are no guns or cannons, and the enemy gives you fabricate them? This way, we have more raw materials. It would be even better if we could stuff 2 more. Instructor thinks this person is definitely more advanced than Freckled. They can directly create props out of thin air. After a check by the brother system, these props are for temporary positioning. But what are they positioning for? Do they have a follow-up plan? The days at Stone Family Mansion are very comfortable. Time also passes quickly. On this day, Water Shaoling came with a bundle. Stone Zhuowu was very happy to see Water Shaoling. He asked her, "Why did you suddenly come?" Stone's mother said that she invited her. "I specifically found Old Water Lord to prepare a medicinal bath for you. You must start soaking from today. You have to soak for 3 days straight. Because this year, the seeded players have all gone to Infinite these days, Stone's mother received too many invitations from academic institutions. Infinite is afraid that students will be poached, so they advanced the start of the school year. That is 3 days later. Therefore, you must come back within 3 days." Stone Zhuowu strongly protests. He believes that his current skin color embodies the style of a hero. What awaits him is Infinite Academy located in the northeast of Jialan Imperial City. Adjacent to vast Ocean Academy, there is a mountain with 12 islands. 70% of the area is covered by the ocean and rivers. Therefore, the transportation used to welcome new students is... It's a spaceship. Yes, a spaceship. But what does this have to do with the ocean? Chu Skylight is very happy flying so high for the first time. He has been playing with the clouds all along. Jiyoshi made a sarcastic comment on the side. "Can you have a bit of dignity?" Suddenly, a bird flew past her eyes. Just now, he was still complaining about Chu Skylight. He ran off to chase after the bird himself. The princess here asked the people next to her, "Why are you covering up so tightly?" This person is actually Stone Zhuowu. He raised his carefully protected hand and said, "Just took a medicinal bath. Skin is very tender. Can't be exposed to the sun." Just as they were talking, there was a person behind them in disguise. He raised his hand and started reciting an incantation. The entire spaceship lost its balance. It started shaking violently. Suddenly someone shouted. The spaceship's flight formation was blown up. Things are going crazy on board. People keep getting thrown off. Luckily, the instructor grabbed the railing. But at this moment, Jiyoshi fell down. She grabbed onto the belt that she was extremely familiar with in one go. The instructor has been fooled several times. He got a scissor lock on Jiyoshi. After all, he doesn't want to lose his belt again. In the midst of chaos, the boat was about to capsize. Those who could swim immediately started helping others. For example, the princess. However, isn't this person a bit excessive? What is the meaning behind this biting the butt move? Couldn't hold it anymore. A few people burst into laughter together. This scene happened to be seen by the instructor. He asked Jiyoshi to hold on well. "We can't afford to fall off." Just as he finished speaking, a voice suddenly came from above. "Brother Chu!" Stone Zhuowu's big face struck him head-on. This headbutt can be considered a direct hit. 3 injured little flowers, drifting and falling to the ground. The spaceship was bombed by someone. A group of people biting their buttocks. Holding the princess, they fell down. Right before they were about to fall onto the sea surface. The princess's eyes turned red. One hammer, 160. Smashed onto the sea surface. Powerful reaction force. Let a few people's descent speed slow down. A few people gently fell into the water. How Gung's ears were filled with water. He gave a thumbs up to the princess. His Highness is still the most powerful. The princess was complacently praised, completely unaware of the huge dark shadow underwater. The dark shadow surged out of the water surface, opening its big blood-stained mouth. It charged towards the group and bit at them. And on the Lost Immortals Square of the Infinite Academy, Lu Ming has been waiting for students. But why haven't they arrived after such a long time? Someone hurried over to report anxiously. Bystein! There's trouble with the new student spaceship. The formation was bombed. Although they managed to make an emergency landing, there are still dozens of students who fell near Thunderlight Island. Lu Ming was shocked when he heard Thunderlight Island mentioned. Thunderlight Island is a restricted area of the academy. Even he rarely goes there. No one knows what's inside. He quickly sent someone to investigate the cause of the spaceship accident. All teachers above the rank of Martial Grandmaster were organized to launch a rescue operation. Be sure to ensure the safety of the students. On the other side, our Jiyoshi was sweating profusely because next to her was a pair of blood-red eyes as big as lanterns. A huge mutant wild boar was panting heavily as it looked at Jiyoshi hanging from a tree. Jiyoshi was also unlucky. Both of them fell down and were all dizzy. Only she caught the attention of this fierce boar. Life is not easy. Jiyoshi took a deep breath. It looks like it's time to show off one's talents in this episode. So she performed a golden cicada shedding its shell move. The moment she landed, within the span of 0.001 seconds, she shot off at a speed of 100 kilometers per second. The pigs are all dumbfounded. WTF? Where are the people? Jiyoshi slowly revealed her true form. This way, the speed will be faster. She took the opportunity to lead the little pig away. Otherwise, it would be ruined if those two were noticed. So she shouted, "Stupid dog! Come chase me!" The little pig was not happy. It snorted unhappily. "I'm a pig!" It then started charging forward like a wild boar. Little Fox was charged by the wild boar. However, this little pig was running a bit slowly. During the chase, it kept getting hit by Little Fox, making the little pig cry out in pain. Jiyoshi's cub even mocked by flipping the middle finger. "Stupid dog! Come and chase me!" She thought to herself that the dog was big and dumb. It's not difficult to shake it off with the help of the terrain. She suddenly bumped into something. It turned out to be a wild boar many times larger than the one just now. The little one was calling for its mom in a pitiful voice. And in some details, I could tell that this small one is a male. The big mother wild boar saw her child being bullied and roared in anger. Just as Jiyoshi was caught in a pincer attack, not knowing how to respond. A claw surrounded by lightning suddenly appeared. A mighty blow was struck. The wild boar was pushed back several yards. And Jiyoshi was awakened by the commotion. She turned to see a figure completely hidden in the darkness. He said coldly, "How pathetic!" On the other side of the beach, the instructor slowly opened his eyes. The blow from Stone Zhuo's header still hurts now. He looked around. He found Stone Zhuo still unconscious and quickly tried to wake him up. "But old Stone, why have you turned red?" Stone Zhuo was startled and pulled out a mirror. "Oh my! My skin was still sensitive. Now it's all red. Mother will criticize me again." The instructor did not see Jiyoshi around and looked around. He found Jiyoshi's little cape on a tree branch. Stone Zhuo ran over with a grumbling stomach and said, "The cape is still here. She should be nearby. Not sure how long we've been unconscious. Can't even distinguish footprints on the ground anymore." The instructor listened to his growling stomach. "Are you really this hungry?" Stone Zhuo looked a little embarrassed. Brother Chu smiled. Even heroes have moments when their stomachs can't bear it. The instructor has been exposed to the sun for so long and is also very thirsty. Until now, what place is this after all? Stone Zhuo thought this should be one of the 12 infinite islands. They then left a distress signal and planned to search for a water source and Jiyoshi after they left. A dark figure reached out a dark hand towards the signal. The dark figure threw it into the sea. On the other side, the princess and Hao Geng dragged 3 stubborn people and flew for a long time. They were also extremely thirsty. They had been flying without finding any land or water source. The princess was on the verge of collapsing. Suddenly, a ball of fresh water flew in front of her. They had encountered Water Shaoling, the water elemental martial artist. She has been drifting at sea for a long time. Ask the princess if they have seen Zhuowu. They have indeed encountered Water Shaoling. The child who was weaned saw his mother, rushing towards Water Shaoling and crying, "Mommy!" However, I said, "Brother, do you have any special hobbies?" This is a big green coconut. The person is the mastermind behind the previous spaceship explosion. He is currently carefully arranging coconuts on the ground. I wonder what he is up to now. A student in distress arrived from behind at this moment. After running for a long time, he finally met someone. Moreover, he saw that this person had a lot of coconuts in his hands. He, who was already extremely thirsty, expressed his need. "Can you spare me one? When we return to Infinite, I will repay you." The person did not speak, but instead showed a sinister expression. He looked towards a tree hole on the side. On the other side, Instructor and Stone Zhuowu have already become so thirsty that they started gnawing on tree leaves. Suddenly he discovered a coconut. It was a big green coconut. He didn't say a word and started smashing it right away. And then he started sucking on a coconut. Stone Zhuowu on the side was already extremely thirsty, but he still politely asked, "Brother Chu, can you give me a drink?" However, the instructor completely ignored him. He could only reach out to grab it. But the instructor's mouth seemed to have grown onto the coconut. It was already distorted, but he still didn't let go of the coconut. This mouth was truly incredible. Stone Zhuowu only obtained a few drops of coconut milk in the end. However, the instructor discovered another one. He was intercepted by the brother system when he lunged over. "Keep calm, host. Don't you find it strange? There are no coconut trees nearby. How come there are so many coconuts?" He calmed down and looked at the distribution of coconuts on the ground. Indeed, it seemed like someone was purposely luring them forward. Suddenly, there was a scream ahead. "It's a matter of great importance." The two of them quickly ran over to take a look. But when they arrived at the scene, they found one person's big bottom was stuck in a tree hole. He even claimed that a monster had captured his head. Two people fell silent for a while. But the one in trouble still needs to be rescued. So the instructor stepped forward. With a slap, he patted the person's buttocks. Then he started the rescue operation. He grumbled in his mouth, "What are you digging a hole for when there's nothing wrong?" At this moment, he suddenly felt a strange force. Instructor and Stone Zhuowu's survival on the deserted island encountered a but. They are implementing the rescue mission. He suddenly felt a strange force approaching. The instructor was also pulled in, leaving only a butt outside the tree hole. The sudden turn of events startled the instructor. "Old Stone, help me. This thing is quite strong." Old Stone heard the call for help. He stepped forward and patted the instructor on the backside. "Hang in there, Brother Chu. I'll save you now." But just as Stone Zhuowu was trying hard to pull out the radish, the person in a white robe hiding behind the tree appeared. He aimed at Stone Zhuowu's buttocks. "He kicked directly at you." Stone Zhuowu staggered. The three of them entered the cave together. Instructor asked anxiously, "Old Stone, how did you also come in?" When he learned that Old Stone was kicked in by someone. Instructor then realized they were tricked by someone. Three people slid down the hole gurgling and grumbling. The hole was really long. Half a day later, his face finally touched the ground. When he got up, the white-robed figure unexpectedly appeared here. He opened his mouth and said, "Among the bull-headed ants, even the worker ants have the skill level of a Grand Martial Master or above, with strong attacking tendencies. And within this nest, there are at least thousands of bull-headed ant instructors." The two people in front of him looked at the densely packed bull-headed ants, sweating profusely. "These are no ordinary ants. They are all Grand Martial Masters." The man sneered. "Come on, Chu Skylight. Let me see if you are truly the chosen one as spoken by Master Senqianwu." This statement left the instructor stunned. Why? He wondered why, at that moment, he had not shown any flaws, yet still came under suspicion. The son of the dimension got his chrysanthemum exploded by an ant. 2 old farmers were tricked by Divine Empire envoys. They fell into an ant-hole full of Grand Martial Masters. In fact, there was a third person too. The first one to be dragged into the hole. His brain was almost squeezed out of shape. The instructor stepped forward to rescue them. But the ant's forceps were too strong. Just as he was about to use the war god arm, Brother System asked him to wait. Old Stone was kicked down by someone. This is likely a trap. Don't easily expose the war god arm. But we don't need the war god arm. The current situation is very difficult to deal with. In a critical moment, Old Farmer Stone stepped forward. The strength of the child of the interdimensional is still very strong. He directly swept through a large group of bull-headed ants. The 2 instructors were crouching on the ground shivering. But at this moment, suddenly, an ant with venomous spines, looking very powerful, launched a surprise attack. With a poochie sound, Old Farmer Stone was instantly defeated. He let out a cheerful groan. This scared the instructor, who shouted, "Old Stone!" The ant successfully launched a sneak attack and retreated back into the ant colony. These should be the soldier ants. It looks like they have reached the martial grandmaster stage. The instructor immediately dragged 2 people to prepare to escape. The bull-headed ant is not only strong in power, but also numerous in number. Fighting is definitely not an option. He found a hole, and then led the 2 people to drill into it. I will lead the way. You guys follow me. Crawl forward. But Old Farmer Stone is miserable. This sandy soil. Every step is stepping on his face. And then, a bull-headed ant appears ahead. The 3 people hurriedly drifted into the corner. They changed direction and advanced along a different corridor. But inside this room, 1 big and 1 small are playing cards. This guy is interrupting. The nest of the bull-headed ant is intricate with various chambers serving different functions. Luckily, the brother system has read the bull-headed ant's lifestyle guide. The further down the ant nest, the smaller it becomes, with fewer ants. Therefore, several people continued moving downwards. After half a day, they arrived at an open area. Several people were extremely tired. Fortunately, those bull-headed ants stopped chasing. The instructor suddenly noticed that the ground had become hard. It's not that sandy soil anymore. As he slowly dug into the ground, a brilliant blue color unexpectedly appeared beneath. I've been farming here for 18 years since I crossed over. I originally just wanted to grow fruits and vegetables peacefully and quietly. I didn't expect that I would be duped by the Divine Empire messenger, forced to be involved in the cycle within the ant nest full of Grand Martial Masters. I dug out a piece of deep blue. The 3 of us, struggling brothers in distress, digging away. But this thing is as tough as ice. We've been chiseling for half a day and still haven't made a dent. I want to try licking it to see if it works. The stone Zhuowu behind had already summoned the lightning sword. It seems that the lightning sword of the son of the plane is particularly effective against this ice crystal-like object. It seems that solidified soul power is needed to break through this thing. However, neither of us have it. We can only cheer Old Stone on from the sidelines. Under his tireless efforts, the crystal at my feet cracked open. Old Stone landed steadily and handsomely.